Denny Hamlin walked into Iowa with broken brakes, a car that shouldn't have finished the race, and a mindset he says he hasn't felt in years. And he still walked out with a top 5 and a 103-point championship cushion. That's not luck. That's something bigger, and Hamlin just told the world exactly how close it came to falling apart. Here's the breakdown. Gibbs Racing had a brake crisis heading into Iowa. Both Hamlin's number 11 and Chase Briscoe's car ran into serious brake trouble in Saturday practice. Overnight, Hamlin's crew tore into the car and swapped the brake coolant ducts, a fix significant enough to send him to a rear field start on race day. Despite that penalty, Hamlin climbed to 5th. All 4 JGR cars ended the day inside the top 6. And on his own podcast, Hamlin admitted something drivers rarely say out loud. He had almost no confidence in the car all weekend. To understand why this moment matters, you have to understand where Hamlin sits right now. He's the points leader. He's chasing his first championship after losing last year's title by the slimmest of margins. 3 points. 3. That's the kind of number that haunts a driver. He's already banked 4 wins this season plus an All-Star trophy, and he's riding a stretch of 3 straight top 5 finishes. So when a car problem like this hits during a season this dominant, it's not just a mechanical footnote, it's a real threat to a points lead that took months to build. A brake failure at the wrong moment doesn't just cost a finish. It can cost a caution-free run, a shot at stage points, or worse, a wrecked race car in a single corner. That's the kind of swing that turns a comfortable points lead into a dogfight overnight. Here's what makes this genuinely interesting from a strategy standpoint. Hamlin didn't just say the car was off. He said the issue was track-specific, that the same braking setup had worked fine for roughly 20 races before Iowa exposed a weakness tied to the track's length and braking demands. That's a critical distinction. This isn't a package failure. It's a mismatch between a very specific short track braking profile and a setup that's otherwise been rock solid all year. Think about what that means competitively. If JGR's brake package has a narrow blind spot tied to certain track geometries, that's valuable intelligence. Not just for Hamlin's team, but for every short track left on the schedule the rest of the year. Now layer in the mental side. Hamlin openly described going into the race with what he called a negative mindset. No confidence on corner entry, no trust in the pedal from the moment he got in the car through the green flag. For a driver of Hamlin's caliber, that's a significant admission. Elite drivers usually mask uncertainty. Saying it out loud after the fact tells you how real the threat was. And here's the sharpest part of this story. His actual in-race strategy shifted from racing to survival. He said his mindset became less about competing and more about staying on the lead lap and hoping other cars wrecked around him just to bank a respectable finish. That is not championship driver bravado. That's damage control at the highest level of the sport, and it worked anyway. Is that smart or is that dangerous? Both. It's smart because it protected his points lead when the car genuinely could not compete. It's dangerous because if this brake vulnerability shows up again at a similar track, and this time nobody wrecks in front of him to bail him out, that 5th place finish could easily have been a 20th. Expect 2 very different reactions colliding here. One side of the fan base will call this vintage Hamlin, a veteran grinding out damage control when the car isn't there and still walking away extending his points lead. The other side will point to this as a crack in the armor. A 4-time race winner this season openly admitting he had zero confidence in his equipment is the kind of, quote, rival teams and media will replay heading into the next short track on the calendar. Analysts will likely frame this as a warning sign disguised as a good result because the outcome papered over a real problem. Best case, JGR isolates the exact cause behind the Iowa brake issue, fixes it at the shop. And Hamlin heads into the postseason with his equipment concerns erased, cruising to the regular season title with his 103-point cushion intact or growing. Worst case, the brake vulnerability resurfaces at another short track with similar braking demands, and this time Hamlin doesn't have the survival instincts or the good fortune to mask it. A repeat failure at the wrong moment could hand momentum straight to Ty Gibbs or Ryan Blaney heading into the playoffs. So here's the real question. Was Iowa a warning sign Gibbs Racing needs to take seriously, or just one rough weekend that a great driver drove his way through? Drop your take in the comments. Smart survival or problem JGR, better solve fast. And if you want every angle on the NASCAR playoff picture as it develops, make sure you're subscribed to SportsWire USA. We're not going anywhere.